Hello, everybody. This should be just about live. Check these settings again. It like I'm still running into sound. So that is going off. There's a little bit more background noise than I want. Hello, everybody. And apparently that's still playing too. This should be just about live. Check these settings again. It like I'm still okay. That is always quite confusing for me. So that was that. Let's tweak this one just a bit. And that one just a bit. I think it's okay. You're not receiving video data at a fast enough rate. Hello. It says it's... The YouTube is telling me that it's not receiving enough data. Let's check this real quick. What is it? What does my internet say right now? It says that that is not correct at all. What? I do not believe that at all. Okay. Apparently my download speeds have increased. I thought I was on much slower than that. I guess these are good problems to have, aren't they? Okay, so where are we? Oh, ooh. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this right now. So the plan for tonight is we are going to... Well, that's not right at all. I know I have stuff installed for that. Oh, is that per user? That'd be interesting. So apparently this is still not set up quite the way that I wanted it to, but we're going to get there pretty quickly. Subsystem for Linux has no installed distributions. So let's go to that real quick. Open in the Microsoft Store. I want to install some Ubuntu. And that should be good. And then I need to do this a little bit. So the plan tonight is we're going to be doing some development to support the Fuzzer with a web backend for it. Sorry, I'm trying to log into the password manager on my phone so that I can log into GitHub on the computer. I might have to get up and go. Yes, Kitty. I'm glad that you would like attention, but I am trying to type right now. Come on. Ugh. And then we need to get my two-factor. But yes, so the plan is we're going to be developing on this code base and hopefully making this backend so that we have a pretty good interface to do some crash dump analysis. But in order for this to work, I have to actually pull all of this down and have it hopefully work. So I need to clone this. This is not going to work now, is it? I need to launch this. So I'm going to have to set a new key. Get there. Hello, Animal Weenie. We should be set up soon. The health is now good. That's good. I just have to juggle a few more things here. We're currently waiting for this installer to finish. So, hello, Cristobal. Oh, can I use Python from here? What? Nightbot, why do you do this to me? Like, Nightbot is so weird. It will not do what I... So, I was using Nightbot during the Fuzzer stream because I wanted to be able to like control at least some aspects while I wasn't at the computer that was actually streaming. But it's actually a huge pain to get working properly, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. I would expect it to be a little bit easier than it actually ended up being to use. So oh, I should type right, shouldn't I? Oh, do I not have Python installed here at all? Well, that's odd. We should grab that while we're at it then. Oh, right, because it's on the other machine, isn't it? While we're doing all of this, we might as well install Python 3 so that I am a better person. Because while... Hello, Kitty. While I am most used to using Python 2.7, it's what I typically use on everything. I think it's worth using 3 for anything going forward. Okay, so I want to get vim git. Is there anything else I really need right now? Oh. I think it's about everything, right? So I also want to do a git clone of this. Yes. And this is not going to work because I need to do this first. We are now going to not put a public key on... Do I use Chocolatey for packages on Windows? I typically install everything manually. I use Ninite sometimes, but for the most part, I just do it manually. Because I don't install it quite often enough, I think, for it to matter too much. Like, I probably reinstall on a system a couple times a year. And trying to learn a entirely new package manager to deal with that, I'm not convinced is worth all the extra stuff. Streaming setup, that's my key. And I should be able to do this now. Good. So we have this, and we're ready to do things now. That's that. Python is installed. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to do before we actually get started on doing real work. So like I was saying, the plan is we're going to set everything up. We're going to start with the back end for this. Actually, let's start by doing that. So we're going to write the backend for our fuzzer. This is intended to run on AWS Lambda. So Lambda is the short life. It is the serverless stuff. So rather than running like a full instance, it's just going to spin up every time I do things. Yeah, repeatable installs are something I'm really bad about. It's something I should do and don't. It's definitely in the list of, if I had time to pick up new things, having a better work environment is probably one of them. And the repeatable installs and things like that are huge for it. My current workflow has so many problems with it. But today, we're going to be serverless. There's a thing called, we're going to, for testing, we're using Flask as the actual host. Then Zappa, I think is what it is. Let's make sure I'm not being crazy talking here. Well, none of these things. This. So while I was researching things, I came across this. It is apparently black magic that I can take a Flask app, give it my EC2 credentials, and now we are running in the serverless. So I understand the reasoning for calling it serverless, at least. I do not manage a server. I manage a function that is run on a server. So I don't care anything about the stack that it's running on. For all I care, it doesn't even need to be running like Ubuntu. I might for some of the stuff I do, but like what's running under the hood doesn't matter to me as long as it hosts this one thing and presents it. But yeah, this is their little demo for it. And it looks like it does all the things I want it to do. I'm going to write in full. Actually, let's go back to my notes here. So to do Flask app to serve a JSON API. We need to push a, call it decoded core dump to the database, be able to pull core dump info out. Is there anything else we need to do? I think as far as the backend goes, at least for a first version, that's pretty reasonable. And then we have this front end. And this is going to be complicated. So the front end needs to talk to our JSON backend, present a core dump, allow a user to poke at memory a bit, and then we need to be able to let a user determine if it is exploitable. I think those are the basics of what we're going to be doing. Right? I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm missing here. I'm sure there's actually quite a bit I'm missing here. That's going to take some time to realize how badly I'm missing it. But I can live with this. So we're going to leave this over here so that I can keep track of what I need to do. We're going to start a new window. Is the text reasonable for people who are watching this? I haven't played with font sizing yet on this, so I probably should make this just a little bit bigger. Hopefully that's a little bit easier for people to read. Oh. I didn't notice that. Windows solarized. I am using the wrong, well, I'm using the original theme, and I want dark, right? Yeah, dark. So if you're not aware, if you're using Windows for stuff, I highly recommend, it's a set of registry settings that just, it takes what is a awful set of colors and makes them actually viewable. Because I can just load this up. Yes, I implicitly trust everything that comes off GitHub, and I let it run on my computer as an admin, because why wouldn't I do that? Let's get rid of this. We have this one. Let's make a new one. Here we go. Much better. This has colors I can actually see. But yeah, especially the blue that they use by default, that blue on black, I cannot read at all. So I've been using this solarized color scheme for it, because this I can actually read all of. Like this color is just so bad. I don't understand. Like I thought I had read that Windows was shipping with a better default for some of that, for a lot of their color scheme stuff, but if they are, I have yet to see the results of that. So, where was this? Oh, there we go. Can I pin this so it stays on top? No, I can't, can I? Oh, Windows. So while we're at it, let's do, come on, I want you to go there. Yep, like that. This looks pretty reasonable. So this is to 24. If that's, oh, I should, you know what, let's close this and switch. Bash. I don't want this monstrous thing. I want something nice and small. Let's put you right here. There we go. So that is our basic to-do list. And here we are. So, the first thing we need to do is we need to actually make our server, right? So we're going to import Flask. I'm going to look up how to do this properly, because literally every time I use Flask, I go, oh, I'm sure. I wonder if these are targeted or not. Google telling me that I should go buy flasks for alcohol. It's one of those, oh, did you mean Python? Or we assume because you're looking for Python stuff, alcohol. But so we import it. I need to do at app.route. That we define a function for it. Return, you probably didn't want this. Let's save that. Oh, actually, I do wish Windows was a little bit better about tiling windows. They've gotten a lot better. Like, it'll snap to a lot of things now, but it is not quite where I would like it to be, especially for big things like that. Oh, git config global user.email mermis.ctf git config. Yep. actually have a flask around here someplace. It looks, well, I was assuming it would come up like this, but can I hide the chat window? Oh, it is covering that, isn't it? It's an interesting problem. I hadn't thought about how much that affects things. So if we lose that much real estate, so I don't want to hide the chat because the majority of people who watch the stream actually watch the recording of it. And if I'm going to respond to people, I actually want the chat there so it doesn't sound like I'm just talking to nobody when I'm actually talking to one of the useful people who are telling me I'm doing everything wrong. But I do need to figure out tiling here that's better. Let's move this over like that. And then I can put this one here. Like that. Because all we're doing here is we're using this one for get stuff, and that'll do. We can also drop this a little bit lower. There we go. This looks halfway decent. So, git, we wanted to do a commit here. Git config, what was it? Core.editor. There we go. Okay, now I can actually use the editor. Just a readme. Okay, so that's good. So we have this. This is just a dead simple. Sorry. Oh, I should move this so people can actually see that too. Dead simple test. Where did Python get installed to? Where did Python get installed to? I'm not crazy here. I did install Python, right? Python, actually. Yeah. Yes, that's odd. Oh, wow, that is a weird... Okay, that is a very different install environment. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it installs it to user directory for some reason. But I can live with that. We will get this set back up, and once it is, we should be able to run this. Hello, Derbisarisser. And I butchered that name, I'm sure. It's so difficult to pronounce things off on the fly like that. I kill all the names. But come on. Once this finishes up, we'll have to install pip. So we are fuzzing with Python. We're actually, the first step of what we're doing here is we're actually building just a regular web server. So it's going to be quite different from our usual streams. Where do I want to position this one? Let's put you here. We're going to drag you over like that. Okay. Wait a minute. I'm being dumb, aren't I? In order to run a server, I need to run it from the Windows side of things, because of the fire. I guess. Do I? Oh, I like that name then. But I can't run the Python needs to run from Windows because of the firewall. But if I'm staying local, maybe I don't need that. Let's think about this for a minute. Do I care? How much do I care? So the thought here is if I move this back to the Windows side of things, currently it's in the Linux stuff that I don't know if you can actually access from the Windows side. Let's test that real quick. So Python-m. Wait, I can do this the other way too, can't I? It's this one and this one. If name is equal to main app.run, I think that's right. Okay. Pip install Flask. Pip 3 install Flask. And yes, as soon as this works, I will... Wait, what? It told me to install Python 3-pip. Oh. Okay, we're doing this the other way then. So, how do we do that? /mntc users streaming. Yeah, this is good enough. So I want to move this here. And now I should be able to do Python. No, I need to go into backend. Python server.py. Pip install Flask. And we should reload this because it's now gone. Oh, is it that bad? Here, let me... That should be reasonable now. It now should be about the same sound as... Actually, quieter than my typing, I think. cd mntc users streaming. Yeah, here, I can... Do I change it here, or do I change it... How do I actually change that? I have an Etsy input. Wow. Yeah, I'm just gonna live with it for now. We can deal with it. We can figure that out later. But we have this app is not defined. Oh, right. Delete it because I don't care. I need app is equal to Flask. Oh, it's not even typing it wrong. It's that I'm trying to tab complete. Like, if I was actually doing something wrong, it wouldn't be too bad. It's that I am trying to tab complete. And I guess in Vim, I'm doing something wrong. I think it's actually an error case in Vim. So this worked. Localhost 8080. Oh, it's not 8080. It is 5,000. That's good. That works reasonably well. We do want to come in here. Requirements.txt. Flask. So if you're not aware, you can do, let's drag this over here. I can do pip install -r requirements.txt. And it's easier to do it this way than to have just a list of requirements. So we want to backend server. Hello world server. So we have that. Before I go too much farther, there's a couple pieces we need to do here. We need to have, so we're setting up an API. Let's actually define that API before we get too much farther. So over here. Actually, let's go down here. So we have an API. We want /nothing. How else do I want to handle this? So I need a get to get a crash dump. And I need a put to put a crash dump. I probably don't want to call them that though. Core/ID is going to return. So what else is going to return? It's going to return an ID. It's going to return a one ID. We probably want to, by default, return a register set. We also want to have a way to return a blob of memory. So I think that seems reasonable, right? So we have core, which is a core dump. And then if we call just the ID, it's going to give us back the ID in the register set. Yeah. It's pretty close to a lot of things. We can also return a list of all the mapped regions. We also need a core return just a list of all the IDs we have. I think it seems reasonable. So the things we can get information at, we can get a list of all the core dumps we have. We can get a core dump base, which is, oh, this should be like that. We have just a core dump, which will return the ID for it, the registers, and a list of mapped addresses, which I think is reasonable enough. And then trying to call the actual memory address would give us the blob of memory there. I feel like I'm missing something important. So this is going to be tricky. So in order to upload a core dump, we need some sort of an auth mechanism, which I think we're just going to have a UUID, which I'm trying to think this through. You know what? We'll just make it an argument because that's easier for me to manage. We require that, and it will accept a massive blob of JSON. Oops, cannot open file. Oh no. See users streaming that. Oh, you. I thought I was going to get away with not having problems with this. There we go. And /mnt see me streaming fuzzing. There we go. We want to return OK or an error. I think it seems plausible enough. We do need to mess with some database stuff. So going back into our server, we need to do that. So import SQLite because I will switch this to Boto and use the S3 backend. But at least for now, I think they're pretty close to just swappable. But I'm not sure off the top of my head. I will worry about that later. For now, this should be sufficient. Actually, let's look that up real quick. So Boto is the S3 storage backend. And because we're going to do that, it's the easy way of using, what is it? The DynamoDB, which is their NoSQL backend, that handwave, it does storage without a problem. So if I create the credential file, it will just work. How does this work with this? I don't know. But you're able to use some of this stuff, and it's easy, and it just works, but it looks like there's not an easy way to do this. Right, so I can do the DynamoDB, I create a client, and then I'm able to get and put. So it should swap out pretty easily. I'll need to swap it out in the future, but I think it should be pretty straightforward to swap out. So we have this. We want to do an app.route /core load. How do I specify this in Flask properly? Read the documentation. Where is it? So it is going to be passed in as a named argument. So I can just do UUID. We're going to call this def add core dump. And this accepts a UUID. What do I think about Dynamo Rio? I think it's... I'm trying to order my thoughts here about it. I've only used it as part of what other people have written. I think the instrumentation that I've used more is Pin. But I do think it's a quite good, for what it does, it's quite good. I know a lot of people use it for a lot of things, so I assume it's quite good. But most of the projects I've worked on, it hasn't been particularly necessary. At least from what I've worked on so far. It's something I probably will try and work on soon. So the current goal is to set up a interface to our fuzzer that runs as a web server to help us direct it in the right direction. Once the basic version, which is just analyzing core dumps, works, the next step is to take care of a little bit of direction. So being able to say, well, the next step is to simplify an input. Here is a input that is important for some reason. Give me the equivalent thing that is smaller. Because when we're generating JavaScript or Python code or something like that, what the computer generates is decent, but it's auto-generated, it looks bad, it's hard to read, and a lot of the time it's very inefficient. A human can frequently look at it and say, oh, you can do this in like one line of Python instead of the 10 that were auto-generated. But that's a little ways down the line. We need all this to work first. So, how do I accept this? So we got this. I need... I'm trying to remember how to do this right. Accessing request data. There's a global request object. So I want a request dot how do I get oh come on, this is not as complicated as it should be. Incoming data. Query string. Can I get just the... I can live with this. Get JSON. That's a thing. That looks reasonable enough. Oh. Let's reload this. And we want to do /core load that. Internal server error. Request not defined. Okay. Flask, why have you betrayed me? Okay, what happened to my documentation here? Oh, apparently I was being dumb and I saw accessing request data, one paragraph, and I couldn't get, I did not finish reading it. That's awesome. Request. Reload this. Reload this. None. Okay. And if I do... What am I doing here? I want another command prompt. We're going to come in here. We're going to shrink this like that. Yes, I know you can't quite see the edge of it. We're going to go in here. Pip install. What am I doing? I want to install requests. That's what I want to install. Which means I should add that here. Actually, let's add this here. So requirements.text. We're going to want requests. Make dir tests. And we're going to call this import requests. Crap, I need to look this up too, don't I? So requests is HTTP for humans. Thank you, HTTP for humans. R is equal to requests.post localhost localhost port 5000 / core load that %UUID. UUID is equal to that, comma, data is equal to a thing. And to push JSON, there's an easy way to do that, isn't there? I want JSON response content. I want to post data is equal to payload. R.text. Okay. Missing parentheses. Oh, right, because we're in Python 3. Oh, Python 3. Method is not allowed. Okay. Backend server. Why is the... Do I need to post? I don't know if I need to post or not for this. Here we go. HTTP methods. Methods is equal to get or post. Okay. Methods is equal to get post. Is that correct? Yes, that looks reasonably correct. Reload you. Reload you. Still none. Okay. And we're returning the JSON if it exists. So this did not work. What does that do? So ideally, I'm giving this JSON, and I thought this was going to be an easy way to get my JSONs, but that may be entirely wrong. So there's a form attribute. Is that the right way to access it? I don't know if that's the right way to access that. Okay, I'm spinning around here and not doing anything useful. I can just do it that way. Yes, so I did add that. I don't know how much delay there is on the stream. Because of course I messed this up again, didn't I? And my default... That's interesting. It doesn't actually tell me what my delay is right now. I need might remember to change this. I can actually check to see what my default is right now, can't I? Because I do have another one, which is in the future still. The normal is normal latency, which means up to 30 seconds of delay. So for anyone who is quite delayed, sorry. Yeah. That's very unfortunate that the delay is that long. I need to... Unfortunately, when I'm rushed to get these started, it's a setting I have to manually change, because I guess it makes sense that the default delay is normal delay, but 30 seconds of delay is more than I would like for this, because especially when I'm doing things like this, right, where I'm typing stuff and I don't, like, I want it to be fast and relatively responsive. Especially like, I'm sitting here, I'm writing code, somebody says, oh, you're a moron, you did that wrong. It's tricky for me to be able to actually pay attention to that well. So I think my problem here is I'm trying to use this get JSON function, and I'm just being dumb trying to get it that way. I can just switch from using that to that's what I'm looking for. So I can get request, and then I can do, I don't want form. Do I want form? Tell me about this. So we have a request subclass. These are so much more complicated than they need to be. If people do have good insight, I am more than happy to listen to it. I'm sure many of the things I'm doing are not the best practices, but I'd rather get it working the way that I understand it working and deal with that later. So why would I use the form attribute? Part of the problem here is that I used to use Flask, and they changed a whole bunch of stuff relatively recently, since the last time I did anything more than very trivial projects. Which means that it's, you know what? Flask JSON API. I'm sure this is, yeah. Someone has done this before. Here we go. Yes, a person who has done things previously. That looks a lot like what I want. So create a new resource, data provided with the request. Yes, that is what I want. So Flask stuff. Is this the relatively recent version? JSONify. I've never heard of that one. That's interesting. So there's get tasks. I need to know how to put one. Create task. If not, request.json or not title. Okay. Oh, okay, so I need to do that. So maybe this is correct, and I need to set my content type. Requests content type. Oh, that one. Stack Overflow, you're my only hope. JSON. Oh, they have a JSON thing. Okay, that is cute. JSON is equal to that. Boop. Oh, look at that. So there's apparently a JSON keyword argument that I can specify. Look at that. Okay, so we have that, and that works. We can push that over there. So we need to go back into this side. So rather than printing this out, we're going to return status okay. Although this isn't actually going to work, is it? Because it expects a string. Yep, it returns a string. Oh man, I closed all these things, and so they're using JSONify. What is JSONify? Let's Google that. Oh, it's part of Flask. It wraps dump s to add a few enhancements that make life easier. It turns the JSON output into a response object with the application JSON MIME type. Okay, so I want to also import JSONify of that. And we need to import it here. Yeah. Another error. Oh, I should actually switch this, shouldn't I? My plan, at least, is that as soon as this stream is over, I'm going to push this to Lambda and verify that it works. I just want to get enough code written that it's actually worth testing. So we have this. That works reasonably. It returns okay, but we haven't done anything with this. So if UUID. So what we're currently doing is we're trying to write a interface to actually interact with the core dumps. The current version is writing a web-based interface for looking at a core dump. So we've got something like 500 or so core dumps from fuzzing IE. And my goal here is to build a fuzzer that people can interact with reasonably well. Because in general, fuzzers and computers are good at doing lots of things automatically. They're very bad at trying to reason about what's going on. People can do one, maybe two things at a time, but they're very, very, very good if it they're very good at reasoning about what's going on. So my goal here is to be able to split those two parts out and hopefully make something that is better than either of them working on their own. Whether or not that works, we'll see. But I'm hopeful. I'm quite hopeful that I'll be able to get this to a point where it is better than just a fuzzer or just a person looking at things. Well, maybe not just a person. So the reason I'm not pushing this right now to Lambda to make sure it works is because I need to set up all my keys and stuff on this machine, and they're not currently set up. And I'm always nervous about messing with a whole bunch of especially AWS keys on stream, because if I accidentally put the window in the wrong spot, and somebody who is quick, so there should not be any persistence. If I'm doing things properly, I will be using DynaDB for all of my persistence, and we'll be going in and out of that. For right now, I'm using SQLite as a reasonable backend for it, and I'll swap that out
when I push this to Lambda. But again, because I don't have the keys set up properly here, and I need to get them set up. But if UUID is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll fix this. And we're going to, yeah, the SQLite stuff is only temporary. As soon as I get it with a thing. But yeah, so I want to check our UUID. If it's not that, return JSONify status error invalid UUID. And this I will change later. So my goal here is I'm actually going to store the valid UUIDs in the database. Sliders? I actually have no idea what sliders is. But if it's that, we're going to return JSONify. We're going to return this error. And then we need to actually parse what we got back. So j is equal to request.json. Actually, you know what? Let's come up here. Try SQLite3.connect. You probably didn't want this. We're going to connect. We're going to connect to test.db. That sounds reasonable. Except, what do I want? That is almost certainly not anywhere near what we want to be able to do. Really? Okay. Cur is equal to con.cursor. Cur.select exec. Is that right? How do I do that? C is equal to SQLite3.connect test.db. cu is equal to c.cursor cu.exec. Select. SQLite3. Yep. Connect. Execute. Not exec. Okay. Execute. Select star from users. Execute. Select star from users. Operational error. So accept SQLite3.operational error. Let's do this again. Set auto indent because apparently that isn't set up right. I don't need cursor at all. That sounds like SQL black magic. I always have a cursor. I probably don't ever need one, but we're going to create table users. And I'm going to mess up it's a text, right? So I want UUID text, an ID. Actually, let's do a ID, which is a primary key, right? Integer primary key. I want a UUID, which is text, and I want a is what do I want this privileged? Int. Huh. That's interesting. I don't use SQLite anywhere near as much as I would like to, although that's probably not entirely true. Probably use it a little bit more than I really want to. So we have this now. Let's dump this in here. How do I do selects that aren't... What's the right syntax? I want to do a select that is not just straight up injectable. Okay, so insert, I want to do a select that way. So cur.execute select star from users where UUID is equal to that, and we're going to pass in UUID. UUID what does this actually do? Okay. No such table users. Oh, I should do this first, shouldn't I? What? Near KY. There we go. Control C. Why won't you die? We have that. And now we have an error still. The current statement uses incorrect number of bindings supplied, and there are 11 specified? Oh, right. Because this has to be a tuple, and tuples are weird like that. There we go. Look at that. So it fetches that if it's that. Ugh. So this is not the way that I want to be doing this, but I think it's supposed to be a tuple, not a list, because it should be non-changeable, but I think a list will work fine because you access them basically the same way. UUID privileged values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And so the privileged bit, actually, you know what? Let's set that here too. There we go. Delete test.db. I'm gonna rerun all this. It's so annoying to have this long delay. I really need to remember to fix this. No such table. Oh, right. What? I lose so much of the value of having people watch over my shoulder and make sure I'm not being a complete moron when I'm typing stuff by having such a long delay. Okay. That is taking way longer than I expected to. Okay, and if we switch this to that, what do we get? Okay. Okay, awesome. So this is actually kind of working the way that I want it to work. We have that. We're checking our UUID. What did that return? It's still none? That's odd. Why does that not... Oh, yeah, I should do that. Does it actually matter? What are you doing? Like, I don't understand why sometimes this hangs like that. Test.db. We'll rerun it again. Ooh. Table users has no column named privileged. Oh. You know what? If I can't spell it now, I'm not going to spell it later. There we go. But we're still... Okay, I'm probably using the SQLite stuff wrong. Where are we? Insert, select. So C is the cursor. Import SQLite 3. C is equal to SQLite 3 dot connect. Test.db. cu is equal to c dot cursor. cu dot select dot execute. Execute select star from users. What? Oh, I'm in the wrong directory. Okay. Let's kill this real quick. Python import SQLite 3. C is equal to SQLite 3 dot connect. Oh, it's interesting. I did not know about... I vaguely knew about some of the tricks with it. Yeah. I'm hoping that's the only problem. Dot cursor cu dot select dot execute select star from users. Cu dot fetch 1. What? SQLite 3. It seems so weird to me that the default install includes a whole bunch of stuff. Try fails after connecting. I don't close the connection. So I think I went back and fixed that, although with delays, it's quite possible that I did, but it's not anywhere useful. SQLite 3 of that. I need to commit, don't I? Do I have to commit? I do have to commit. Con.commit. So rm test.db, exit here, del test.db, and I guess that's how you do that. Python server. So refresh that. No. Run this. No such column privileged. Oh, we're making progress here. That's good. This one? This one. It's funny, I was saying I'm never going to spell that right, and then I forget to change it everywhere. Oh, I definitely don't want to refresh that every time. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Now we're getting actual results. So do I care what it actually is? No, right? So I should be able to do if row is none, we'll return that error. Otherwise, we're going to try and parse this. Okay, so we're making progress now. We have this, we have this. Next question, Python, Windows, core dump, because I don't want to have to try and parse this myself. Haystack is a heap analysis. No, that's probably not what I want at all. Oh, this is so hard to... Python mini dump parser. Yeah, thanks, David, for that. Like, it's actually, the sandboxing thing was really interesting. For people who didn't see it, he posted in the, I think it's the Binary Ninja Slack, a link about this. So, I've never used the Joe sandbox stuff, but they were just talking about apparently they have some new JavaScript stuff in this that they're able to do, like instrumentation of the JavaScript that's running on a page and do like decoding of it and stuff. I haven't taken a look at it yet, but it actually seems really cool. They can take some JavaScript, they do stuff, and then they somehow get green lights or red lights if they think it's malicious or not. It's actually really cool. Again, I haven't tested it out, so maybe it's, you know, all, what do they call it? PowerPoint engineering, where they make some pretty pictures and they sell the pretty pictures and none of it actually works. But, yeah. So... PyKD? Is this a thing? Python extension for WinDebug to access debug engine. Python import PyKD. Pip install PyKD. This is apparently a thing. Okay, so we have that. Let me think about this for a second. I don't know if I have a core dump readily accessible right now. I have another machine. Yeah, I've heard it's definitely a derogative term to say somebody is doing PowerPoint engineering. We used to talk about one of our competitors doing that because they'd make these great looking PowerPoint slides that said they'd fix all the world's problems, and all you had to do was give them $1 million, and they were going to solve all your problems. It'd be great. And then I don't think I literally ever saw them do anything useful with any of their stuff. I worked around them for probably 3 or 4 years, and the entire time, I'm pretty sure they put the same slides up in front of people for 3 or 4 straight years. Never went anywhere useful with it. But hello, Brian. Welcome to the stream. So, you know what? Mini dump the example. Actually, you know what? I am going to get up. Probably take about a 5-minute break here and grab the couple of the crashes off. Wait, what am I saying? Well, I don't need to take a break at all, do I? I have remote desktop enabled, don't I? Hopefully this works. You're not going to connect, are you? No, you hate me, don't you? Okay. Oh, the computer's off, isn't it? Here, let me... Yeah, so the fuzzer that I had running for a while is now... Ooh, that's a good point. I completely forgot that I'm going to want a stack trace too. Just the registers and memory is not enough. I definitely want, I should unroll the stack for people. But let me go turn on that other computer real quick. Come on, kitty. I know you've enjoyed sitting on my lap, but I need you to move. So I've got the old computer I was doing streaming on sitting in the corner over here. It was fuzzing for a while, but I stopped that because something got stuck, and figuring out what got stuck wasn't I had crashes, and once I had crashes, I wasn't sure it was worth spending hours fixing that before I had something to actually analyze the crashes with. Bug ID, bug LD? I have no idea what that is. I will check it out as soon as I am sure that this thing is working. Yes, that looks like it's working. What is my password? Let's ask that question next. There we go. Bug LD? Bug ID. Python module to detect, analyze, and ID application bugs. This project is under very active development. Automatically debug an application to detect bugs that cause crashes and excessive CPU usage. Interesting. Runs an application in CDB, interacts with it to detect any potential bugs in the application, and analyzes them. When a bug is detected, detailed information is collected, and an ID is generated that should be unique and consistent for that particular bug. In other words, if you trigger the same bug, the ID should be the same. Huh. Interesting. I have never heard about this before. Huh. Access violation. Wait, so they automatically add in a whole bunch of heap stuff? That's interesting. How do they do all of this? Huh. Oh. Okay, so you do have to manually turn on page heap. That is one thing that I've talked about doing and I still actually have yet to do. because I'm terrible and still haven't done things like I should. But let's grab a couple of these things. We're going to drag these over here. Where did I put this? There we go. Let's actually make a folder for those. That probably makes sense, doesn't it? Crashes. And so I just grabbed these so that I have them to work with. So this library is really interesting. I haven't seen it before. So who is Skylined? This is quite interesting. A Brendan Janweaver. Oh, I have heard that. I was just reading about his stuff, wasn't I? Their stuff. Why was I just I don't remember why, but I was just reading about this. Interesting. I do need to take a look at that then, because going forward, that might definitely be worth using. So, let's take a look at this. We imported that. Import PyKD. So, PyKD. Poruski. Where am I? Documentation? Would like not the Poruski. Would like the English. We're using 3, so do I open it? How do I use this? Is not at all what I want to be using. That's entirely possible. Yeah, it's quite possible this is not what I want at all, is it? I feel come on. Yeah, this is not what I want at all, is it? Because it looks like this is just for automating WinDebug, which is not what I want to be doing. Also, this is incredibly annoying that... Oh, I guess... Okay, so I guess there's documentation and then an API reference. Yeah. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Okay. Can I get, so this is PyPy. I want similar? Do they not do that? Python. Cool. Back to the drawing board. So all I want to do is open this thing. Why is this so complicated? None of this is what I want. This should be... This should be easy. I don't understand why it's not. Like, I should not have to write a mini dump parser in Python. This is 100% something that should already exist. In fact, if it doesn't, I'm shocked. Here's a Rust one. Yeah, I was looking at the one that he did. Because like, it seems so silly that I can't just... Okay. Like the 10-year-old mini dump parser that Moix wrote. I can't believe that this is apparently the most recent one that is on the internet. Ugh. What is this? I hate absolutely everything about this. Okay. I'm going to spend another short period of time hoping I can find one. But it's pretty close to time to give up and just use this old code. And maybe I'll poke him on Twitter and see if he has something more recent than this. What's this? Seriously? Okay, you know what? We're just going to use this, right? And then I have to actually figure out how to use this, but that shouldn't be too bad. Like many Microsoft formats, the container format is actually fully documented. Not only documented, but it's extensible. Breakpad uses the container. It's a native crash dump format. Oh. Downloadable here. Currently, every stream type listed in documentation is fully parsed. Also supports the window handle stream created by user dump, although some fields are still unknown as they are documented. Okay. Okay. Oh man, this is not going to work at all, is it? I have very bad feelings about this. Given that I'm using Python 3, looking at this code, I have bad feelings. The problem isn't the code. Like, my bigger problem here is that if I probably will have to modify a lot of this to make it run in Python 3, and I was trying to be nice and use Python 3 because reasons, right? How is this really not a thing? This is promising. Mozbase is a set of easy-to-use Python packages forming a supplemental standard library for Mozilla. Why did this come up? Oh, crash. Yeah, the 2 to 3 stuff works most of the time, but when it doesn't work hard. This was so promising. Python Haystack is a heap analysis framework focused on searching and reversing of C structures in allocated memory. Produce file can be used with the mini dump list of entry points. Okay. This has a parser for it. Okay. And of course, search a process's memory for a specific C record. That's interesting. What is this? Win app debug. Quickly code instrumentation scripts in a Windows environment. That's interesting. I've never heard of this before either. But how does it work? Haystack. The immunity stuff isn't a bad idea. That might be one of the more straightforward ways of doing it. How? So this thing supports this. Copy. Search inside this. Seriously. Okay. Oh, no, look at this. This is different, isn't it? Ooh. Okay. Yeah, so it's using the same Brendan's code, the same. Man, it blows my mind that this is apparently all that's on the internet for doing it. But okay. Okay, let's see how hard this is to grab. Raw, take, copy, wget. Okay, so slash backend. No module named construct. What is construct? Construct. For directory. It's not used? Oh, no, it's import star. Python construct. What is Python? No, not constructor. Oh. Pip install construct. What? Great. I got the modified version, and of course, I hate everything. I really do. Can I just do that? So this is a thing. Okay. So I can install Haystack. How do I use Haystack now? That's what I was looking at, right? So if I do Haystack, are they just examples? So come on. How do I use this? Yeah, not thrilled at all. Oh, hey, look at that. This may actually be exactly what I want if it works. Why? Why is this so complicated? Dump loader? Is that what I'm looking for here? Okay. Where do I go? Where do I go? Where's their GitHub? Here's the GitHub. Oh, that's what I just closed. Okay. So we have Haystack. What am I doing? Go back into my tests. Python import Haystack. That's exactly what I was trying to find now. So dump loader? Cannot import dump loader. Okay, we have this from Haystack import dump loader. Not what I want apparently. This definitely makes me feel good that where is it? But it's right there. Dump loader. I hate absolutely everything. Okay, dir haystack. Of course, there's nothing here. Python import haystack. Okay. So, see users streaming. Come on. Okay, so this is where this is. I hate you so much. I hope you know that. So, their code is wrong, which is awesome. I don't want to dump. I want to... Like, that is to open a PID, which is not what I want. Don't think this is what I want either. Okay. They use this, right? DMP loader. Which has a mini dump loader. Okay. Where's this mini dump loader? Okay, there we go. Ha! Okay. Huh. There we go. Okay. So m is equal to mini dump dot mini dump loader, and I want to open crashes slash that. So this doesn't work either because their code is awful. Okay, so what is happening here? I mini dump loader, we try and initialize it. Where's that exception coming from? So please use this. If the length of maps is equal to 0, that is not what should be happening at all. What's going on here? So there are no mappings according to this. This is a real mini dump though, right? Yeah, this is actually one of the real ones. So what's happening? What error am I actually getting? So they have a maps here. Am I reading this right? That this will only get a mapping if it... I hate you so much. So very much. I hope you know that. Ugh. Is this a thing? Can I just do... it doesn't define it anyway. Okay, so how does this thing actually work then? Because apparently I'm writing this code myself now. So they open it. I should be able to actually use this thing though, so that's good, I guess. They immap it. How did this happen? So construct data. Okay, so they parse it like that. Can I just do that? Like, is this gonna work? So that, oh, let's grab this first actually. So that D oh, I actually need the RD, don't I? mini dump dot that. Wait, what? How am I in PDB now? Look at that! Oh my gosh. Look at all this data. Wow, this is a lot of data. Path to tests crash. What are we here? 2403-33 fight. Looks like a mini dump to me. What? Why would you do this to me, YouTube? Why would you do this to me? YouTube claims that everything is fine. Yeah, once I'm doing something useful with the Python, I will definitely move it. But as long as it's scrolling, the positioning is a little bit better there, but I can just drag that over, I guess. Doesn't hurt too much to move it. Wow, this is absolutely massive, and I'm not sure how much of this is actually useful. So much data. Okay, so we have this. We open it. There's a mini dump directory. How do I use this? Okay. It might not be encoding it very well then. So I opened this up. Can I do like, does version work? Ah, okay. Of course I did. Coinstruct. Yeah, look at that. That lines up with what Animoeni was saying it actually was. So we have that number. What is our number of streams? Number of streams is 10. Okay. How do I access these? How do I access these? So there's a mini dump directory. How did they do this again? For directory, in that, print directory.stream type. So we have a thread list, a module list, a memory list. Okay. Interesting. On the ultrafast X264 profile, which is probably this default. It is, in fact, the X264 one. But... So, it is indeed the X264, but it is very fast, not ultra fast. So, Yeah, there's definitely stuff I need to fix about the stream, because it's still not where I want it to be. So there is the exception stream. How do I use the exception stream? So exception stream is going to be a mini dump exception stream, which has a thread ID, an alignment, an exception. So there's code flags. Yeah, the CPU usage is at least very, very low. Like I'm sitting at under 5% right now because the new computer is probably way more overpowered than it needs to be for most of what I do. So I can get a exception code, I think. If I do hello light. So there's an exception address, which is probably helpful. Can I just get, I guess threads is where I want, isn't it? Highlight all of it. So it's got a number of threads, and then it is a thread. A thread has a thread ID. It has a stack here. Thread context.rva. Oh, context. Okay, so, and that will have registers in it. Okay, that I can definitely do. Okay. So I think at this point, we've been at this for a little over 2 hours, and I think about 7 was when I was planning on ending things. I think it's about time to call it a day at this point. Looks like, unfortunately, this mini dump stuff is actually a much harder problem than I thought it was going to be. I thought most of the web stuff was going to be harder than parsing a mini dump, because why on earth would I think that parsing a well-known file format that has been around for decades would be easy, and that somebody would have already done it for me? But silly me. But in any case, I'm going to probably try and work out some of this mini dump parsing stuff, because it's probably pretty boring. I'm not sure how much time I'll have in the next week to work on it, but if I have time, I'll poke at it a little bit and at least be able to get registers out easily. Other than that, it's been nice having everybody. Hopefully the sound quality is better. I'm going to have to go back and review it. What I ended up doing was, previously I was doing a noise gate, which is essentially if the noise fell below a certain threshold, it would stop playing anything. And I killed it. I don't have that noise gate on at all, so there's probably a little bit more background noise than I'd like, and I probably want to tweak that and fix it, but it was better than having my words cut off when I was saying things. And I'm exaggerating far more than I need to for that, but In any case, like I said, thanks everybody for showing up. Next week we'll hopefully have quite a bit more progress, and I'm hoping within the next couple weeks that this is up and running and good, because once this is up and running and you can do core dump analysis, the next step is to switch back to some of the Python stuff. I want to play with the Python fuzzing we were doing and work on enhancing that with some of these magic features. So there are still some mic issues. I will definitely play with that. I think my first priority is to fix the sound, and if I have extra time, then I will play with this library. So, like I said, though, thanks again, everybody, for showing up, and I will see you all next week. If you have any questions, comments, things like that, let me know. Twitter is probably the easiest way to do it. Other than that, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.